Football is back as the Raiders and Jaguars clash in the Hall of Fame game. Here's a look at the Vegas outlook for both the team that plays there and for the team that plays in Jacksonville. Raiders looking to make the playoffs for the second year in a row. Jaguars looking to make some progress after posting 4 wins in their last 2 seasons combined. The 2 teams will play again in Week 9 in Jacksonville. Welcome to Wizard of Odds, Kenny White and Sportsline senior analyst Larry Hartstein, a.k.a. the Maestro. Raiders and Jags clashing the Hall of Fame game. Inside 40 days until our first NFL Sunday. Raiders open the season at the Chargers. LA's a 3.5-point favorite. The total 52. Raiders beat the Chargers, of course, in overtime in the season finale to make the playoffs. That was memorable. Kenny, what do you like in the Week 1 matchup?
Really tough matchup, and beating a division game, I lean to the Chargers, but again, I don't want to lay points or more than a field goal in this football game because these teams just want to win. Chargers would be happy to win by 1 point in this game. So I'm going to lean to the under 52 points. Again, first week of the season. We know both these head coaches probably won't play their starters much during the entire preseason. So we know that we're not going to see Justin Herbert at all. First time we see him will be in this game on 9/11. So I look for a game where it's a must-win situation, a division game right out of the box. I'm going to go under 52.
It's an obvious payback spot for the Chargers after the way the season ended. I don't want to lay 3.5, but, we saw the market all the way at 4. We're seeing some juiced 3.5s actually to take the Raiders plus 3.5. So I think you're going to get 3 if you like me. If you're like me and you like the Chargers, I think you'll ultimately be able to lay 3 with what I think is the best roster in this division. I know the Raiders added Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams, but top to bottom, we talk about Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson and Sebastian Joseph Day and returning every single skill player, and Justin Herbert, who threw for over 5,000 yards now in the second year of Joe Lombardi's system. I'm going to look to play the Chargers at a field goal.
Larry, we like you, so we like your play as well. Raiders won 10 games in the regular season in 2021. Over-under set at 8.5. Kenny, did the Raiders get 9 wins in Josh McDaniels' first season in Vegas?
Yeah, it could happen, but they have the 3rd most difficult schedule in the entire NFL. They play in the toughest division, and I think they have the weakest defense of all 4 teams in the division right now. So I'm going to go under 8.5, but believe me, there's not much wiggle room in this play. I think the Raiders, that is the correct betting number at 8.5, but I could really never go under. I'm always looking to go under, so I'll go under here.
Yeah, Kenny, you got to like Chandler Jones and Max Crosby as the 2 edge rushers and Devontae Adams in that offense, but the defense remains weak. And look at that schedule. It's absolutely brutal. They're in the best division in football. And I think Josh McDaniels has a lot to prove. His 2 years with Denver were pretty much a disaster. So there's a lot on him. I think 8 is more likely than 9. And certainly when you're giving me a price at plus 110, I will lean under.
Look, they could go 1-4 to start the season. You saw the first 5 weeks there: Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Broncos, Chiefs. That's brutal. That's a brutal opening 5 weeks to start the season. Meantime, Andy Reid and the Chiefs have won the AFC West 6 years in a row. Kenny, do they make it 7?
I think they do. I think they're the best team in the division. It's not a great price, but we are taking plus money at 175. Like the addition of Juju Smith-Schuster, even though we did lose the Cheetah. The offensive line is the best that has been in front of Patrick Mahomes the entire time he's been here in Kansas City, and that offensive line is going to pay dividends. The defense, I think, is far better than what we've seen so far. I really think the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the entire NFL, not just the division. So I got to bet them to win the West.
Disagree with you there, Kenny, and the money agrees with me because the Chargers were plus 250 a little while ago. The money coming in on them, when you add Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, and all the guys, and then you return every single key offensive player, you draft the best guard in the draft with Zion Johnson, you have Justin Herbert, the Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill. I think the value still on the Chargers. They have the best roster top to bottom. Like I said, the second year in this system, Justin Herbert, who knows what he's going to do.
All right, here you go. On split on both the Chargers and the Chiefs to win the AFC West. As for the Raiders' Hall of Fame opponent, the Jaguars are just looking for improvement under Doug Peterson in his first season in Jacksonville. He'll face an old NFC East opponent in Week 1, the Commanders. Washington, a 3.5-point favorite. Total's 44. Kenny, who or what do you like in this spot?
Yeah, again, I hate to lay a price, especially this early in the season, because, continuity is a big deal and you have to be playing together. But I have such a drastic difference in talent level, talking about rosters and talent in rosters. The Jacksonville Jaguars are still in the bottom 5 teams in the NFL in terms of talent. And I think the Commanders are improved this year. I thought this game should have been priced more in the 6.5, 7 range. And I think after the preseason, that's where this game will be, week 1 to start the season. So I'll lay the 3.5 with the Commanders.
Well, then I'll wait till week 1 and try to get a much bigger number on the Jaguars, because Carson Wentz, they traded for him. He was probably going to be released. That's how bad his decision-making was last year. The Commanders putting all their eggs into Carson Wentz's basket. I don't think it's going to end well. Chase Young will not be ready for the start of the season. And the Commanders didn't address their biggest weakness, which is their secondary. And on the other side, you have the Jaguars, which had the best coaching upgrade from Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson. The only other one that comes close would be Brian Daboll taking over for Joe Judge. Those are 2 huge upgrades. There's just no way I could lay this many points with the Commanders, so I'll take the points.
All right, Jaguars win total is ambitious, set at 6.5. They've won 4 games the last 2 seasons combined. Kenny, you need 7 wins to beat you. Are you taking the under with Jacksonville?
Yeah, as I just mentioned, I don't like this roster whatsoever. I think it's very, very poor in talent. They're in the bottom 5 of the NFL. My model has them winning 4.5 games, so I feel very, very comfortable going under 6.5 wins.
I do think the Jaguars will be much improved, but that's asking them to win 4 more games than they did last season. That's a little too tall. Like Kenny said, there's still a lot of holes on this roster, even though they did add some nice pieces like Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. They overpaid for every single guy they got, but at least they are improved. I think they can still have a good, positive season where they show progress and go 6-11, but I can't get to 7-10.
Yeah, if they go 6-11, that would be absolute great news for Jags fans. 6-11 will be a heck of a season. Jaguars, though, have gone an NFL worst 15-50 since reaching the AFC title game in 2017. That's how bad they've been. Titans have won the AFC South the last 2 seasons, but it's Matt Ryan and the Colts who are the favorites to win the division. Larry, who do you like to win the AFC South?
Yeah, I think the Colts should be bigger favorites. With A.J. Brown leaving Tennessee, I think Tennessee takes a step back. Matt Ryan is an upgrade over Carson Wentz. And Jonathan Taylor, what he did last season is incredible. When you run for 1,800 yards and you get 18 touchdowns against the toughest schedule of rush defenses in the league, well, it's a much easier schedule this year. And I think Matt Ryan is going to enjoy handing off to him, doing play action. I love the Colts at -120.
Yeah, I agree, Larry. I think they're the best team in the division. And in this day and age of the passing game, it's still run and stop the run leads to success in this league. And I really believe the Colts could actually lead the league in rushing and also lead the league in defending the run, be number 1 in both categories this year. I think they win the division over Tennessee.
Well, there you go. Both Kenny and Larry agree on the Colts. Matt Ryan going to Indianapolis and going to work some wonders there with Jonathan Taylor. Colts last won the AFC South in 2014. Kenny, Larry, thank you. Here's a look back at their selections for the regular season for both the Raiders and the Jaguars. Their week 1, their win total, and their pick to win the division. Week 1, Kenny likes the under between the Raiders and Chargers at 52. Larry says, give me the Chargers. I'm going to lay the 3.5. They like the under on the Raiders win total of 8.5. Both in disagreement here, though, on the pick to win the AFC West. Kenny likes the Chiefs. Larry likes the Chargers. Get a little bit more better value there with the Chargers. Week 1 for the Jaguars at the Commanders. Kenny's going to lay the points with the Commanders. Larry says, I'm going to wait a little bit closer to week 1, maybe get a couple more points, maybe a 4, maybe 4.5. You'll see how much the line will shift ahead of week 1. Jaguars win total 6.5, both on the under there, and they both like the Colts to win the AFC South. They last won the AFC South in 2014. Again, inside 40 days until our first NFL Sunday.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.